So if you're like, oh, the police come in and rough me up, because you're a low-level peasant. When the police come into my house, they wipe their shoes and they apologize.
Yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how I ended up in this situation.
Apparently, Andrew Tate got in a Twitter fight with Greta Thunberg, which resulted in him being arrested because he made a video responding to her with a pizza box in it? What are we living in, a Matrix? But in all seriousness, while it was hilarious to think that Andrew Tate may have gotten arrested over a pizza box, authorities have come out to say that wasn't actually the case. However, there are some new reports that make this take a much darker turn. As you may already know, Andrew Tate and his brother Tristan Tate have been arrested once again under the suspicion of trafficking. But there is a lot of information coming to light, and if it's true, this makes the entire situation so much worse than we already thought. Two women were accused of being accomplices to the Tate brothers' crimes. Someone came out claiming that Tate tried to recruit them while they were allegedly 16. Apparently, there are also some alleged updates regarding a situation Andrew was involved in a few years ago on a show called Big Brother. Claims have been made about the Tate brothers branding the girls that work for them, and it seems like Andrew's Bugatti has been seized. There is so much to unpack in this video, so you're gonna want to stick around to hear all about it. Welcome to another episode of Everything Gets Worse All the Time. Happy New Year, everybody. This was quite the situation to leave 2022 on, and it seems like it's progressing into 2023. On December 29th, Andrew Tate and his brother Tristan have been arrested. Again.
The Matrix has attacked me.
But this time it doesn't seem like he's being treated as nicely by the police as he claims he was before.
First words they said to me were sorry. People online are like, why didn't they rough you up? Why didn't they tackle you to the ground? Because you don't understand respect. The police know me. They didn't want to come here. They're like, bro, sorry, G. We know you're the top G, but we have to.
If you don't know who Andrew Tate is, what he's controversial for, and why this is such a big deal, sit down and buckle up for a wild ride.
I understand that I am too brilliant a man, too perfect in every single metric, too big, too strong, too smart. I am a gift to females created by the one above.
Andrew Tate, a famous kickboxer, chess player, and multimillionaire, has been going off the charts this past year for his wild takes on podcasts and in YouTube and TikTok videos. In the beginning of 2022, Tate's popularity began to rise through the growth of TikTok. Tate's audience was split between people who love him and people who hate him. He shares a bunch of wild opinions while sprinkling one or two obvious points once in a blue moon to grow his audience. Once in a while, he'll also say or do something goofy, and somehow it makes people forget that he's been accused of and spoken about some really messed up stuff.
If you think you're gonna find a man with options who's gonna genuinely never ever consider those options ever, then he's just a low value dude. That's the reality of the game. The reality of the game is if the guy has choices, he's gonna consider those choices.
When you're 52 and you're past it with no grandchildren in a house by yourself, and all your friends have grandchildren in this beautiful life, and you're sitting there by yourself, do you think the fact that you can afford a few extra Gucci bags is going to genuinely make you feel happy?
Tate ran an online business called Hustlers University, and also a club called The War Room. Hustlers University costed a monthly fee, and The War Room was a very expensive one-time charge. After this got more popular, though, he ended up hiding some of the pages from his website. That's weird. I can't imagine why. The paragraphs here essentially explain how Andrew will teach you how to recruit women to make an online business. So not only is he doing this, he's creating a bunch of Andrew Tate knockoffs that are doing the same exact thing as him. So many people, myself included, made videos on Andrew Tate because of how bizarre this guy was. In fact, I made a few videos on Andrew Tate, as well as some other cringy alpha male podcasters, and that led me to a pretty intense rabbit hole. My biggest concern, though, was the way he discussed using some of the women for his business in his now deleted posts on his website. My job was to get women to fall in love with me. Literally, that was my job. My job was to meet a girl, go on a few dates, sleep with her, test if she's quality, get her to fall in love with me to where she'd do anything I say, and then get her to go on a webcam so we could become rich together. Whether you agree or disagree with what I did with their loyalty, submission, and love for me doesn't matter. You cannot reject the results. And the results are simple. My girlfriends would do more for me than 99.9% of men's wives would do for them. From the accusations of Tate allegedly holding a woman against her will in his previous arrest, to suspicion of human trafficking, and to the hateful comments Tate has made online, people really began to dislike him. Over the past year, Tate has found himself to be banned off of most social media, including TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram. He was recently unbanned from Twitter after Elon Musk took ownership. Most bans took place shortly after his first arrest in April of 2022. Police were notified of claims that he was allegedly holding a woman in his home against her will. But according to websites like YouTube, he was allegedly banned for going against their policies. Tate made a response to this shortly after, claiming that the woman involved actually lied and that he was a victim of swatting.
My house was raided by police under accusations that a woman was being held kidnapped. I have spoke about this at length many, many times. I was effectively swatted. I think this happens to all famous people on the internet, where the police is called. It happens especially in America. They call the police and say, somebody has got at this address and he's threatening to kill somebody. And the SWAT turn up and it turns out it's fake. It happened to Tim Pool repeatedly. It happened to Aiden Ross just the other day.
Well, he was arrested again on December 29th, 2022. A tweet about this had gone viral with nearly 37 million views. Tweets have views now, by the way. Romanian authorities needed proof that Andrew Tate was in the country, so they reportedly used his social media posts. His ridiculous video yesterday featured a pizza from a Romanian pizza chain, Jerry's Pizza, confirming he was in the country. This is absolutely epic. Not only did Greta destroy Andrew Tate with her tweet, she made him so angry he inadvertently tipped off Romanian authorities of his presence in Romania with his lame comeback video. Greta is an absolute legend. And below this are shared a clip from an article. The investigators waited for the Tate brothers to return to Romania. For 9 months, anti-mafia prosecutors put together all of the evidence taken from the Tate brothers' villa and the video chat studio in order to be able to prove that the accusations made during the hearings by their alleged victims are real. Sources close to the investigation stated that shortly after the completion of the computer expertise, the authorities waited for the right moment to catch the Tate brothers, who were always out of the country. After seeing, including on social networks, that they were together in Romania, prosecutors mobilized special troops of the Gendarmerie descended by force on their villa in Pipera, but also on other addresses. If I were to guess, I think where the mix-up came in was the fact that this article was released and people just assumed they were talking about the pizza box, but after reading the article again, this doesn't say anything about the pizza box. It seems like this was just a huge coincidence. Authorities have since come out, by the way, and stated that his arrest was not linked to him eating pizza. But the timing of this made this entire Twitter feud really funny. Unfortunately, that's about the only funny thing in this entire situation.
Yes! Hell yeah! Hey, come on, baby!
So because of this tweet, a lot of people believed that this all stemmed from a fight that Tate had with none other than Greta Thunberg, who was a climate activist. On December 27th, Andrew Tate tweeted to Greta Thunberg, "I have 33 cars. My Bugatti has a W16 8-liter quad turbo. My 2 Ferraris, 812, I have no idea what that is, have 6.5-liter V12s. This is just the start. Please provide your email address so I can send a complete list of my car collection and their respective enormous emissions." And then Greta responded with, "Yes, please do enlighten me. Email me at smalldenergy@getalife.com. By the way, this tweet ended up being the 22nd most liked tweet of all time, so it's safe to say that Tate got ratioed. Actually, just kidding, at the time of recording this, it went from 22nd to 4th. I guess that hit his ego a little bit. At first, he replied with, "How dare you?" I thought that was really funny, but then I remembered that it actually was mocking her for this famous line she said in a popular speech.
How dare you?
Again, at first, I thought this tweet was much funnier without the context, but even with the context, what's even funnier yet is the fact that it completely ratioed Andrew Tate. I pictured a similar reaction to that of an upper-class nightmare celebrity who goes to a restaurant and finds out that they don't have a specific high-end brand of water they like. Speaking of food, Tate then responds again with a video, and there's a small detail that we are obviously going to be taking a look at. It's very important.
I'm obviously a stranger to online controversies, not something I often do. But now, the mainstream press is commenting on the fact that I was informing Greta that my very extensive car collection with internal combustion engines, which run on dead dinosaurs, have an enormous emission profile. And she replied by telling me her own email address. Greta's email address is, I have small energy.
Nice one, bro.
Why would that be your own email address, Greta?
This entire situation sounds like a fight between two siblings in the back of a car.
I mean, also, I don't want to assume her gender. It's 50-50, but it is what it is. I'm not actually mad at Greta.
Okay, the important part's coming up.
What you're about to see may disturb you.
Please bring me pizza and make sure that these boxes are not recycled. I'm not actually mad at Greta, right? Because she doesn't realize she's been programmed. She doesn't realize she's a slave of the Matrix. She thinks she's doing good.
There it is, that's the pizza box.
The global Matrix got this bot farm try and pretend that her telling me that she has a small in her own email address. But now I know at least that Greta, the little hate-filled face, bitter, sitting somewhere without the heating on, in the cold, little hat, shivering, views my tweets, which is gonna make my Twitter account far more fun into eternity.
Apparently, Greta isn't the only one that's been looking at your tweets. Again, this ended up just being entirely coincidental. Just to expand on this, on Christmas Day, Tate posted a video on Twitter of what seems to be him in the Romanian mountains. Now, I'm not going to say that anybody who was laughing at the memes on Twitter is bad, because that would make me a hypocrite. I found some of the memes funny too. But if you pull the curtains back on this, it goes from this really silly, goofy, end-of-the-year story to something that is extremely serious. The last time Andrew Tate got arrested, news outlets reported on it, and when he was released from jail a day or so later, he got right on social media and made Instagram posts and YouTube videos claiming that it was all bullshit and making a joke out of the entire thing. And we're not just talking about him making a joke out of being arrested. The last time he was arrested, there were no memes, there were no Twitter fights, there was no Greta Thunberg. It was all reports. But after those reports came out, he responded by making jokes about the claims made against him, including an Instagram post mocking an interrogation where he titles it, "I think we can all agree that love to lie." The reason it seems he was able to get away with this is because there were no charges made at the time, and there seemed to be an investigation underway. He tried to play this up really well, too. He claimed that all of this was due to a swatting and that the girl involved was lying because his brother Tristan rejected her.
Some whoopee was chilling with tea, they made love, and then Tristan stopped replying to her texts. She's from, I don't know where she's from, some other country. I don't know where she's from, she's not Romanian. And after they slept together, he ignored her one day. Hey, let's go out for dinner. Ignored her, kept ignoring her. Then turns out she has a boyfriend. So the boyfriend found out she was with Tristan. So now she's in a hard situation, right? Because she doesn't want to admit to her boyfriend she's been cheating with the guy who now ignores her completely. So she says, oh, yeah, but I was with him, but I didn't want to be. I was at their house and I couldn't leave. And she was kidnapped. Even though all of our CCTV, which we now have, prove that she came by Uber and left by Uber, and there's text messages of her begging to come back. And Tristan wouldn't let her. So then her boyfriend calls the embassy and calls the police from France or whatever country she's from. And they instigate this high-level police SWAT raid for kidnapping. And they come into my house, sorry, Tate, sorry, we're sorry, it's from the embassy. Because if it was actually Romanian stuff, the police wouldn't even come. If the Romanian called the Romanian police, they'd be like, we ain't going to the top G's house, he ain't kidnapping bitches, he's kicking them out. No way. They know me. But because it's from an embassy, because the French embassy, blah, blah, international incident, blah, blah, blah. So the police come here, had to take all my things. This is 2 days after the event. I'm about to get all my electronics back already. Because I didn't do anything. The girls broke down crying, admitting she made it up. whoopies.
While right now they still are allegations as the investigation continues, the thing that bothers me is the fact that this is now 2 times he has been arrested under the guise of human trafficking. In my personal opinion, I find that really suspicious, but there is even more to this situation. This is an official statement made about Andrew Tate's most recent arrest. Now, fair warning, it's translated by Google, so the English may be a bit spotty here and there, but by reading this, we can get a clear picture of what allegedly happened. At the beginning of 2021, 4 suspects, 2 British citizens and 2 Romanian citizens, constituted a criminal group organized in order to commit crimes on the territory of Romania, but also other countries such as the United States of America and Great Britain, of the crime of human trafficking. Victims were recruited by British citizens by misrepresenting their intention to enter into a marriage or a cohabitation relationship and the existence of genuine feelings of love. In other words, the lover boy method. That sounds familiar too. My job was to get women to fall in love with me. Literally, that was my job. My job was to meet a girl, go on a few dates, sleep with her, test if she's quality, get her to fall in love with me to where she'd do anything I say, and then get her to go on a webcam so we could become rich together. Basically, Tate admitted on his own website that his job is recruiting women, making them fall in love with him, and then using their loyalty to him to do whatever he wants them to do, which he claimed on his website that he would have them do sex work or sexually related work, either by working on websites like OnlyFans or intimately chatting with strangers online for money. There is also a report from the Daily Mail that one of the girls that worked for Tate actually brought him in over 50 grand a month. The statement continues, however. They were later transported and housed in buildings in Ivlov country, I hope I said that right, where by exercising acts of physical violence and mental coercion through intimidation, constant surveillance, control, and invoking alleged debts, they were exploited by group members by forcing them to perform demonstrations of for the purpose of producing and disseminating through social media platforms material having such a character and by submitting to the execution of a forced labor. So far, 6 injured persons have been identified who were exploited by the organized criminal group. With regard to the crime of R-word, it was noted that in March 2022, an injured person was forced on 2 different occasions by a suspect through the exercise of physical and psychological pressure to have sexual relations. Oh, there was also a clip I reported on a while back where Andrew Tate was making a joke out of hitting women and other stuff. It was really weird, but in that clip he also claimed that his women aren't allowed to leave the house.
You stay in the house. You don't go nowhere. You're not, no restaurants, no clubs, nothing.
Bro, clean your fucking swimming pool. Not only that, but he also does this cute thing.
Shut the up. Women don't have a clue how business works. That wouldn't ever work. There's a reason I don't start these stupid businesses because I'd lose my temper with one of them. I'd set the whole place on fire.
At the end of this article, it does say that basically the people involved in this are innocent until proven guilty, just to keep that in mind. But as always, dear viewer, things get even worse. A Romanian news source known as Gondol wrote a bombshell article claiming that some of the women have come forward regarding this situation. Now, I want to preface that these are all still accusations at this current time, but I personally wouldn't be shocked if the headline turns out to be true, due to the things that I've seen and discussed researching Tate's website before, but more on that in a moment. Investigators who descended on the Pepera villa of brothers Tristan and Andrew Tate to rescue a woman from the United States who was allegedly held captive by the two found that the British actually had several girls who were video chatting for them. Some of them were tattooed on their arms with the English message "owned by Tate," which in translation means "I belong to Tate." I have literally covered this before in a previous video. Let's take a look. There's lots of photos that I'll be blurring out here because they'll get my video age restricted. There were photos posted on his own website, which have been archived by the way, where multiple women had Tate's names tattooed on them. I will say that I haven't personally seen any tattoos that say "owned by Tate," but this could honestly be due to a mistranslation. While editing this video, I did find one more picture of a girl that had Tate property tattooed in her groin area, but so far that's about the closest thing I've seen to the wording written in the article. In the United States, when somebody has their name written on something, it is implied that it's theirs, but to be fair, it isn't uncommon to hear that lovers get their names tattooed on each other. However, it is really weird that multiple women were posted onto this website with these tattoos. The Romanian women who wore the tattoo would have been reluctant in front of the police and would have defined the two as masters, while the third Romanian woman and her colleague from the USA said they were held against their will. In this sense, the American, Emma, aged 21, allegedly stated that she was approached on Facebook by Tristan Tate, who, after a short period, managed to convince her that he was in love with her and called to in Romania. Although she was involved in a relationship, the young woman would have accepted, and the former British fighter would have rushed to buy her a plane ticket. Arriving at her new lover's villa in Pipera, Emma realized she had just been the victim of a scam, as she immediately received a room in the rented building for video chats. At the same time, Tristan Tate allegedly informed her that if she left, he would find her wherever she was hiding and hurt her. Scared, she sent a message to her boyfriend in America and allegedly told him that she was being held by force in a house in Romania. Now, at this point, it is important to remember that these are accusations, and it does seem like this is the woman that Tate has mentioned before the last time he was arrested. And if that's the case, at that point he was denying those claims in his response, so I'm willing to bet that he will likely deny these claims as well. There's also accusations of R charges. The investigators have the suspicion that, over time, the two Britons would have collected, using the same method, several girls whom they would have sexually exploited in the respective studios, some of whom would have been brought precisely from Great Britain. There are also claims that the Tate brothers and two other people are under investigation for creating an organized crime group. And as of right now, there are at least 6 women who were allegedly exploited. This is where things get even more insane. There is new footage showing that not only were the Tate brothers arrested, but 2 others as well. These were 2 women, Georgina Nagel and Luana Radu, and according to Insider, both women face allegations of helping Tate recruit at least 6 women into their online PORN business. Like Tate, they were being and are being held in jail for 30 days pending investigation. Later, it's also explained, a police source told Mail Online that Tate, his brother Tristan, Nagel, and Radu drew the attention of police by flaunting a lavish lifestyle on social media, which, quote, is not keeping in within their financial position. Additionally, an article from the New York Post shares, they are an important part of the crimes that took place because they made sure that the women are being held against their will and did as they were told. The article also goes on to make a very bold claim that Tate allegedly attempted to recruit a 16-year-old. Romanian investigators have accused Tate of using the lover boy method, seducing unsuspecting women before forcing them to perform in PORN under the threat of from his organized gang. This is the exact method that the teenage daughter of a Romanian political analyst, Cosmin Gusa, I hope I said that name right, says the one-time champion kickboxer attempted to use on her when she was just 16. Quote, I had just created an account on Instagram when I received a message, quite suggestive, in which Andrew Tate basically asked me to go out with him. I once again would like to say that these are just allegations at this point, but if this is true, this is far more disgusting than one could even imagine. But just when you think things can't get any crazier, they do. A thread was tweeted out by Sophia Smith-Gaylor, a news reporter from Vice. Sophia shared an article that was posted on January 4th, 2023, some of which stated, notorious influencer Andrew Tate was arrested on suspicion of SA and physical abuse in 2015 while he and his brother were running a webcam sex business out of the UK. 2 women told Vice World News that they were violently abused. One R-worded, the other repeatedly by Andrew Tate, and that the UK police and the Crown Prosecution Service mishandled their case, leaving him free to rise to global fame on the back of his unchecked misogyny. Police took 4 years to pass their investigation to the Crown Prosecution Service, whose job involves assessing whether there is a realistic prospect of conviction, at which point the CPS declined to prosecute. In her thread, Sophia shares that Vice is planning on releasing a documentary. The survivors' interviews will be included in an upcoming Vice World News documentary about Andrew Tate. Reporters Matt Shea and Jamie Tossin visited Tate's compound in Romania in the summer of 2022 and gained access to the Tate brothers' so-called secret society, the War Room. But most importantly, Sophia goes on to share Tate and Big Brother. What the public didn't know and what Vice World News can now report is that the real reason Tate was removed was due to the SA and physical abuse investigation that had been shared with producers 5 days prior. This would be a huge development in the story regarding Tate's removal from Big Brother, because up until now it was stated that the reason his ban was for allegedly being violent towards his now ex while filming an adult video. Tate's ex has since come out, by the way, claiming that this was roleplay, but there was another video sometime after where he was allegedly threatening another woman and she locked herself in a room to get away from him. And as far as I am aware, I haven't seen anybody confirm or deny if that one was roleplay or serious. More reports have come out saying that authorities have issued a warrant to extend the detention of the Tate brothers to 30 days. Now, there are tweets that are being made on Andrew Tate's Twitter account, but I'm unsure if these are tweets that he has made or if somebody is tweeting on his behalf at the moment. The Matrix sent their agents. The Matrix will only tell you what the Matrix needs you to believe. It appears the insanity of the ruling elite is exposed worldwide now. They have one command: do not speak out, behave as sheep. The news is free because they need it to control you. Whether it's Tate or somebody speaking up for him, they are literally blaming the Matrix. And I know, I get it, the Matrix is Andrew Tate's thing, but this is ridiculous. What is it with celebrities who have been outed as the worst people suddenly using Illuminati and the elites apparently silencing them as a way to avoid any criticism for their disgusting behavior? First of all, Tate, you are an elite. All of your fanboys chant your mantra, "What color is your Bugatti?" And you have multiple mansions, millions of dollars, tons of designer clothing, among much, much more. Your entire brand online is to fool people into thinking that they can one day become as rich as you are by following your course. I have no doubts that there are elitists out there who try to silence others with some sociopathic bullshit, but I really don't think Andrew Tate is much better than any of these people he's mentioning. Also, people are definitely not falling for it. Well, most people anyway. Some of Tate's diehard fans might still be on their knees for him, especially the ones defending him, saying human trafficking isn't even that bad. I just want to say this, whether it's Andrew Tate, an infamous celebrity, or anyone else, human trafficking is a really serious situation. I truly believe that it does not get as much coverage as it needs to be. Lastly, there are a few women who have known Andrew Tate and have come out to publicly support him. One wrote on Twitter, "Tired of this BS, I will continue to stand by Andrew. He might be disliked by some, but he is not a trafficker. #FreeTopG. She then replied to somebody saying, "Until there is cold hard evidence, he remains innocent." Now, please don't go sending anybody mentioned here any hate. This is just to point out that there are some accounts of people not believing in these claims. Andrew Tate's ex-girlfriend also came out with a statement.
If you don't live under a rock, then I'm pretty sure you know that Andrew Tate has been arrested for human trafficking, which is absolutely absurd, simply for the reasons that it's absolutely false. I have lived with Andrew for years and years, and he would never do anything like this. Ever. I've already had to make 2 videos regarding his innocence when it came to him being called a woman beater for a video that got leaked of us two having a little bit of a rough role play. I had to make a video 2 videos in fact clarifying that he is innocent, and here I am again, coming from somebody who lived with him for years. He is not a human trafficker. He would never anybody, and he would certainly never ever human traffic anyone either, including his brother.
My thing is, if the police have arrested him twice for this situation, they probably have enough reason to do so. They likely know things that aren't even public yet, especially when you consider that this investigation seems like it was going on for quite a while. But by law, he is innocent until proven guilty, so we're going to have to see where that goes. To end this with some lighter news, after Andrew Tate's arrest, Greta Thunberg made another tweet. According to a Romanian news source, Andrew Tate's assets, such as his house and cars, are being seized while he's under investigation. I'm assuming that likely includes his precious Bugatti. The reports also claim that authorities have allegedly seized 6 young women. I don't know where the 6 women would be taken, it doesn't say in the report. I hope not the same facility that Tate and Tristan are likely in. Speaking of which, this report also states that the Tate brothers are in custody. So if this report is true, does this confirm that 1, they both are in fact going to be held for 30 days, and that 2, somebody is likely tweeting on Andrew Tate's behalf? Let me know your thoughts on that in the comments below. With that being said, what are your thoughts on this entire situation? Let me know about that as well. Have a happy new year, and I will see you in the next video.